What is going on? And welcome back to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. We are heading out west, baby. The NL West preview and best bets video. I brought this guy back, Mr. Brad. Brad, what's going on?
Nothing much. Ready to do another video. It's just baseball all day, baby. It's back,
Baseball.
baby. It's back.
Ooh, yeah, you smell that fresh cut grass, mowing the lawns. It's good times. NL West, we got a lot to talk about here. Last year, the Dodgers won it by 22 games. It was an absolute annihilation in this division. They finished with 111 wins. Padres 89. Giants finished at 500, and the last two teams finished under 500. But we'll talk about each team. To be honest with you, it's just a two-man race in this division, and we'll talk in more details. But you know what I realized when I started looking at this? It's crazy that the Dodgers only won one championship, and it was during the COVID shortened season. With
Yeah,
all the talent they've had for the last 4 or 5 years, that's the only title they won. It's crazy.
money.
Uh, yeah, it's a ton of young talent in this division, and we're going to talk about it. Let's go over the divisional odds first for this division. We got the Dodgers favored at whopping minus 30. That means you got to bet $130 just to win $100 if you want them to win it. The Padres plus 130, Giants plus 1100, the D-backs at plus 4,000, and the Rockies at plus 15,000. I know the odds are nice. You can put $1 down and win a lot of money, but I'm going to tell you right now, guys, the Rockies aren't winning this division, so don't worry about it. But
Absolute garbage.
yeah, let's dive into the world famous Los Angeles Dodgers. They have dominated every year, it seems like, for like 5 years. In the offseason, they signed JD Martinez. He's about 87 years old. They signed starting pitcher Noah, the Thor Syndergaard, and they signed David Peralta, but they lost Trey Turner, Justin Turner. That's right, the Turner brothers are now gone.
And they're
Cody,
gone.
Cody Bellinger, who hasn't been good since his Rookie of the Year award. Andrew Heaney, Tyler Anderson, Craig Kimbrell, Joey Gallo, Trevor Bauer because of other things. But so they lost a lot of guys. It's time for other players to step up. But the big one, Walker Buehler, out for the season with Tommy John surgery. It's a huge blow to this rotation. That guy's a stud. What are we feeling about the Dodgers this year? Are they still a 100, 110 win team this year?
I don't think they'll win 110, but I still think they're going to win over 100. I have them win like 103, winning the division, of course. Some of those losses do hurt, but a lot of them helped them. Like getting rid of Cody Bellinger, I feel he was just a cancer to the team. I expect him to do good, and he wasn't doing very hot. Starting rotation still good. Urias, Kershaw, Gonsolin, Dustin May, and Syndergaard. I think Syndergaard will have a bounce back here. Bullpen's pretty solid too. Gratterall's pretty nasty, and he's about to be their closer. And of course, they're hitting. It's just they're just good all around. They're just like I wouldn't say they're as good as the Atlanta Braves, but they're right there.
So I have a little more worry, I think, than you with this team. If you look at their rotation, okay, you take out Walker Buehler. Like this rotation, by the way, should have Walker Buehler, should have Trevor Bauer.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you think about how good it could be right now, it's
Yeah,
just amazing. But if you look at Urias, okay, he's a stud pitcher, 260 RA in last 500 innings. I mean, he just gets it done. He
yeah.
doesn't blow you away, but he gets it done. Gonsolin last year, can he keep that up? It was a career year. He threw a ton of innings. He never threw more than 55 innings one year, and last year he threw 130. So he had a 2.14 ERA. Like at one point, I think
Yeah,
it was in the Cy Young conversation. But
yeah.
other than that, like I know you got Kershaw, but let's be honest, we know he's not staying healthy for the whole year. So do you think Urias and Gonsolin are enough? Because I know Dustin May a couple years ago was his top prospect. He looks like freaking Carrot Top. But he hasn't done that well, and some of his injuries and kind of holding him back. I mean, if he doesn't step up, this rotation to me is good, but it's not great. Not a 110 win team. But do you disagree with that?
I mean, yeah, it's not super great. I mean, like I said, every prediction's based off of people just being 100% healthy, right?
Yeah,
Who
sure.
knows? Anything could happen. So, like you said, Kershaw's 35. He's getting up there, but I mean, if he could do literally half of what he did last year, they'd still probably be all right. Same thing with Urias. I mean, 17 wins for Urias, 12 for Kershaw, 16 for Gonsolin. I mean, it's pretty impressive, and I know they have a stacked lineup, so that definitely helps out. But their ERAs are low, so it didn't matter. I mean, they
Yeah,
all had ERAs in the twos, so
yeah.
they're
I
not
hear you.
giving up runs.
I don't know if I believe in Syndergaard unless he can change
No,
something. But I mean, he was a guy who's throwing 98 to 100. He's throwing like average of 93 now. I mean, he's just a different pitcher
yeah,
after some injuries. So I don't know if he can be the guy. But Dustin May needs to step up. Kershaw hopefully stays healthy. This rotation can definitely be pretty good. Their bullpen, like you said, I think they were top 5, top 10 bullpen last year.
Easily.
They were good. Their lineup is different though. Let's be real. It's not the same lineup, guys. We got Mookie leading off probably. Freddie
Yep.
Freeman hitting 2 or something like that. Obviously, elite hitters right there. Will Smith 3, great hitting catcher. But then you go Max Muncy, JD Martinez 4 and 5. Guys, that's not. And then you go maybe David Peralta. Then what? Clay Thompson's brother or cousin or whoever the heck. Trace.
Trace Thompson. I mean, Austin Barnes could hit a bit. He'll probably be doing more of the catching and
But
helping
they're
out
not
with
as deep,
DH.
right?
But
I don't know,
I mean,
man.
Chris Taylor though, man, they still have Chris Taylor,
X-Men.
and that guy gets it done. That guy just a great utility player.
He gets it done
Probably
in
the only one.
crunch time. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
At crunch time, he's just a guy.
But-
Like you said, the lineup it's a little weaker, but again, they got good pitching. That doesn't really give up a lot of runs. If that stays, cool. But I mean, Max Muncy didn't have a great year. He had a 196.
Yeah, he's terrible.
It was terrible. Yeah, if he can bump it up, if he bumps it up to like 250, they'll be fine.
And JD Martinez, he's 35. He hit only 16 home runs last year. He's lost his pop. So I just don't think between Muncy and JD, I just think the bottom of the order is finally just not as good as it used to be, not as deep. So this team, I think, is changing its identity a little bit. I think it's all about pitching. Beat you with pitching and some timely hitting. Obviously, the top 3 hitters are studs: Will Smith, Mookie, and Freeman. But I don't know. I have my question marks. I don't see them getting anywhere near 110 wins, in my opinion. But
definite questions. But I mean, they got money. There's going to be trades. There's going to be signings. There's going to be signings. So it's usually what happens when they find out what they're weak at. They usually go out and buy and spend that money.
Yep.
And then get a good guy for free agency. I mean, there's still guys out there that they could still get even just in free agency that haven't been signed yet, and guys are going to get cut from team for spring training. Get some young studs from people. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. That's true. And also Walker Buehler, he is out for the year, right? I don't think he's coming back at all.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back at all, and that is huge that he's getting that. But hopefully Dustin May and Syndergaard pick up that slack that he had. They can combine and beat Walker Buehler together, maybe.
Yeah. Dustin May has a chance. I mean, man, if he performs as high as his prospect level was, I mean, now you're talking about a staff that might be top 3 in the league if he can step up.
Definitely.
It's the biggest jump. I mean, 111 wins last year, and they're projecting 96.5 the sportsbook. That's a huge decrease. Still might win the division, but we'll see. We'll talk about that.
Speaking they're definitely winning. Yep, they're definitely winning that, baby.
Agree to disagree. Here we go. The San Diego Fathers. San Diego Padres, 89 and 73 last season. Over under 93.5 wins. They project a little more. They signed the man, Xander Bogaerts, 11 years, $280 million. Re-signed Yu Darvish. They signed 2 pitchers that were okay. Suarez, Nick Martinez is a good piece, I guess. Whatever depth.
Michael Wacha.
Yeah, Michael Wacha. That's right. They lost Will Myers, who seemed like he's been on the Padres forever. They lost Mike Clevenger, Sean Manaea, and Brandon Drury, who they just, I think, had in the middle of the season last year on a trade. So, Fernando Tatis. We forget how good that was, but he is he an idiot. Yeah, he's an absolute idiot. I won't argue that.
Still suspended.
Yeah, still suspended. He has 2 top 4 MVPs already, though, in his career. In 2021, he hit 292, led the NL in home runs. I mean, we all know this guy on the field is as good as it freaking gets. What do you? I'll let you talk about this Padre team. I think I'm a little higher on them than you are, but what do you think?
I still have them very high. I just don't think they'll win the division. They're still going to be a threat, of course, in the playoffs and everything. And they beat like you said earlier, they beat the Dodgers in the playoffs. It's definitely possible. I just don't think they're going to win the division. But they're going to be right behind the Dodgers. They'd be like 5 games off of them. It's going to be really close. I'm just worried about their bullpen. They don't really have anybody in the bullpen. They spent all the money on getting hitters and whatnot, bringing in Xander, Bogaerts, now having Juan Soto. But their hitting is going to be nasty. They have my boy Nelson Cruz, 42 years old, who's probably going to get you a solid 20 bombs and bat like 240, maybe.
Can they have somebody run for him? Like in PE when you're younger, you hit and someone behind you runs? Because that guy can't run at all.
No, that's the problem. It's gonna be base hits, home runs, and strikeouts. Like he's not stretching anything out, and they're probably not even gonna expect that either. But yeah, their starting rotation's pretty solid. Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove, Blake Snell, Michael Wacha, and we'll see what happens. But getting Xander Bogaerts was clutch because Tatis isn't going to be playing shortstop anymore. He's now going to be right in right field, he's been looking pretty good there. I mean, he has the arm for it, so it's where you want a good arm at. Because Juan Soto does not have an arm at all.
No, it's weird, isn't it?
No arm at all. It's like watching a child throw a ball. It's ridiculous. He belongs in left field. You don't need an arm for left field. It's the right spot. I never understood why the Nationals even put him in right field when he started at left field when he was coming up. It was just weird. And I know it's good. Yeah, now I get a DH spot, but that's going to be Nelson Cruz's spot, obviously.
Yeah, they'll probably put Soto in there some games, but yeah. So this team has elite top end talent. Depth wise, I'm not sure yet, but like you said, Darvish, Snell, and Musgrove, they're good. Solid 3 pitchers, as good as it gets almost. Lineup. Try to name 4 other guys that are better in the lineup than when you have to go through in April when Tatis is back. Tatis, Bogarts, Machado, Soto. Isn't that unbelievable? Like I can't even imagine. It's unbelievable.
And it's a sneaky signing, Matt Carpenter.
Yeah,
Matt Carpenter's a sneaky backup, and Jake Cronenworth isn't a bad hitter either. My Michigan Wolverine guy, he's a stud too, and now he's gonna be playing first base.
He is. Yeah, that's right. He's moving to first. And then you got Trent Grisham. Not a bad little player.
Trent Grisham, he had a down year. I mean, he batted like 190, and they also signed Rougned Odor. He's not a very average hitter either, but I mean, there's some depth there. Injuries, they got somebody that could back him up, so that's always good. Austin Nola, but they have a top prospect, Luis Campusano, who's also a catcher.
That's right.
You want to watch out for that guy.
Yeah,
he's on the roster. He'll get some playing time. I guarantee Austin Nola's going to need breaks, and he's probably going to go back there, and we'll see what he got. If he could, perform, then they're going to be scary.
Yep, I agree. So elite rotation, top end rotation, elite top 4 or 5 hitters in this lineup. Yep. But what you said is my only worry about this team, and their bullpen was 14th in the ERA, so they're average, right? They're not an awful bullpen. You don't look at them and say that's god awful.
But it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse this year.
You get to the playoffs, and if you think it's good, even if it gets worse than your 20th, that's not ideal for a team that's trying to win a World Series. Mm-hmm. Josh Hader's huge, guys. Are we going to get the Josh Hader that strikes out 50% of batters?
The Milwaukee Hader?
Yes.
Yeah, because Padres Hader's not there.
No, the 5.22 ERA Josh Hader. Mm-hmm. So that's a big deal to them, but he can be elite. It comes out of the bullpen, and they got to hold down the fort until Tatis is there, because without him, we got the 3 hitters, but then the lineup gets a little thin. So I got a best bet on the Padres, and I'm going to give it to you later, but you might already know where I'm heading. Me and Brad disagree, though. Over under 93.5 wins. What do you lean in there? They won 89 last year.
I have them at 92 wins, so they're going to be right there. They possibly can get more. I could see them topping out at like 95, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they'll win 100.
Well, the other worry I have is not only is Tatis an absolute moron, he gets hurt a lot. So just because he's back doesn't mean he's going to be there the whole year.
And that's also why they wanted to put him in right field as well. And they knew that because shortstop's strenuous, and he plays it recklessly, even though it's great to watch. I mean, he's doing splits when he slides. That can't be good. I know he's like 6'10", so it's crazy. He's a freak athlete.
How tall is he?
He's not 6'10", but I think he's like 6'5". Like he's that
tall. Okay.
Yeah, he's tall. He's a freak. So the outfield will be better for him. He's got speed, the right field, great arm. It's just going to work better for the team.
Until the reckless play is him storming into a wall.
Yeah. Well, you could tell he's still learning to play, so he's not playing recklessly out there. He's still trying to make sure he's catching the ball and not, olaying it and trying to be all showboaty.
That's a big move because he's played short, I'm guessing, his whole life. I mean, he's an elite shortstop. So
yeah, definitely.
Him and with Bogarts. I mean, where do you do in this lineup? So let's say they're all 4 back. Do you lead off Tatis, or how would you put up this lineup at top?
I mean, I've definitely Trent Grisham needs to move down unless he starts hitting for average again. But I mean, I could definitely see Tatis batting leadoff, and then you throw in like Jake Cronenworth batting second, so you get a righty lefty matchup going, and then you get Machado third, and have Soto bat fourth, and they had Bogarts like fifth.
That's
That'd be insanely brutal. And then you got Kim, Nola, Matt Carpenter towards the bottom. Matt Carpenter could bat up in the lineup too. He was pretty hot with the Yankees last year towards the end.
Drop some bombs.
He figured it out. So
Yep.
that was a good signing for them to have as a nice bench player and a bench bat.
That's what he is a good role player now. I think the Yankees are trying to make him a starter because they needed somebody. But that's going to be a fun lineup to watch. Padres will be a lot of fun, and that Padres-Dodgers rivalry, that's no joke. That's going to be a ton of fun to watch this year.
Definitely.
That's the Padres. That is the Padres. Let's move on to the third team. This is as average team as it gets, and they remind me of the Minnesota Twinkies. But it's the San Francisco Giants, 81-81 last year, and the over-under, 81.5. Same. Off season, here's what they did. Well, they missed out on Aaron Judge barely. They missed out on Carlos Correa. Well, they had him, and then they didn't. They signed
Gotta be quicker than that. Gotta be quicker than that.
Gotta be quick. That's right.
Gotta be quicker than that.
You're so close. Signed ex-Mariner Mitch Haniger. He's good. Hurt a lot, but he's good. Outfielder Jock Peterson. He's a platoon guy. So he had against righties last year, which is almost all he faced. He never plays against lefties. He can't hit a lefty. He hit 278 on base percentage, 356, slugging 538. He's a good hitter against righties, and the Giants love to platoon guys. They got so many guys that are just it's crazy. But they did sign Michael Conforto, who missed all last season. I don't know if he can return, but they lost Sean Manaea. The big one is they lost Carlos Rodon. I mean, that's huge blow to this team. So,
Definitely.
And Brandon Belt, who seems like he's been on the Giants for a while. What do you think about this Giants team? Are they going to be average again, or what?
I think they'll be average, and I think they'll probably finish just below 500. I got them winning like 76 games. I don't think they'll be even close to even last year. They got some signs, like I said, Mitch Haniger. If he's a solid player, if he's healthy, Yastrzemski out there, and Jock had a great year. He'd stepped it up. He batted 274, which you don't expect from Jock. Brandon Crawford. I mean, what can you say about that guy? He's a great defender, but it's just not the hitting's not going to be there. He's getting old. They got some good young starts though. David VR, Tyro Estrada. They still got Wilmer Flores, Lamont Wade Jr., Joey Bart, and they signed Roberto Perez as another catcher as well.
They got just a bunch of guys. You know what I mean?
They just threw them in there. Michael Conforto and J.D. Davis.
But to me, it's just a bunch of guys who are just, they're okay. Can they be clutch? They're nothing special.
Exactly.
They had the 20th best bullpen ERA last year, which isn't great. I'm with you. I think they finished under 500. I think under 81.5 wins is a sneaky bet. You lose Carlos Rodon and don't really add much. I don't understand how you think you could win over 81 games after winning 81 last year. Their rotation of Logan Webb, he wasn't as good as he was a couple years ago when the Giants were winning every game, it seemed like. But Logan Webb, and then what? Alex Cobb is your number two?
Alex Cobb, Sean Manaea, Ross Stripling, and then Alex Wood. And then they got the Rogers brothers in the bullpen.
Yeah.
And then they got Duvall. That's pretty much what they got in the bullpen. So they didn't even really help out the bullpen that much.
Duvall's good. He was like a 2.5 ERA guy. He's probably their stud in there, but
he's the closer, so he's not going to be middle relief. He's going to be closing the games. And like I said, they got the Rogers brothers for relief, pretty much. That's it.
Yep. I think Aaron Judge made the right decision in regards to winning because even with Aaron Judge in this lineup, this isn't a World Series. I mean, in my opinion. So
no, and Giants fans are going to hate this, but it was probably good they didn't get Judge. I mean, he's injury prone.
He's already 30, and they wanted to sign him to 10 or 12 years or something. 8, I don't know.
Yeah. He wants like $500 million, 12 years. Screw that.
And even better that you missed out on Correa too. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, Correa's not a guy you build around either. So.
Not at all. Yeah. So to me, it's just like the Twins. It's an average team. If everything goes right, maybe they finish a little above 500, but they're not competing for this division, and it's a 2-man race in this division. Giants have nothing to do with it. They had kind of a fluky year a couple years ago. I don't know how the hell that happened.
That happens. I mean, who knows? We could be wrong. They were not that good last year. They seem to be good one year, good the next year, and then terrible, good, terrible, good. Who knows? They
win like 3 World Series in all odd years or even years or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all even years. 10, 12, 10, 12, and 14, and 11 and 13, they weren't very good.
Yeah.
They were like finished like 500 or below, and then they come back and they'd win the World Series. It's insane.
Yep. Remind you of the Rays. They kind of just find ways to win somehow. So
Yep.
let's go to the fourth team. This is an interesting team for both of us. Arizona Diamondbacks, 74 and 88 last year, over under 75.5 wins. So they're not projecting them to get much more than what they did last year. Offseason, we talked about another video. They traded Dalton Varsho to the Blue Jays to get Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Moreno, who's a decent catcher. And they added the Mariner first round pick that we all thought was going to pan out, Kyle Lewis. He is now with the Diamondbacks. They traded Cooper Hummel for him. And then they signed Evan Longoria. Remember that guy? He's supposed to be like a Hall of Famer when he was brought up, and he's not.
That trade made no sense.
I know. It was weird. I know Kyle Lewis can't stay healthy, but I don't know. I mean, this team's got some sneaky young talent, guys. I mean, if you really, when you're looking to bet them or just watch them or predict them, their lineup has kind of got some pieces. What do you think about this lineup?
The lineup's pretty good. I think the lineup's decent. They got some young stars in there. Like I said, Lourdes Gurriel. I mean, I didn't like the trade, but he's not that bad of a guy. I guess they just. I guess they just didn't want to wait for Dalton Varsho to see what he was going to be. They wanted to try to win now, and they got a decent player involved. I mean, he hit 291 last year. And Jake McCarthy could be a good. He hit for 283. He's a good guy. Alec Thomas. He played for Mexico in the World Baseball Classic, and he looked pretty good. Corbin Carl. Watch out for that guy. He's having a nice spring. Nick Ahmed, average player, good player. Evan Longoria obviously just needs to go. He's just retired. I don't know why he's still playing. He doesn't really have it anymore. Ketel Marte is good. Of course, that's probably their star. And then Christian Walker. Christian Walker is a beast. I mean, I like that guy. Yeah,
he 36 bombs last year.
Yeah, sneaky, 94 RBIs. He hit 242 as low on average, but I mean, he was hitting bombs. He got hot in the second half.
Yep. And Corbin Carroll's the guy. Like, if you're listening to any fantasy baseball podcast, he's like the guy that people love.
Yeah.
So you got Corbin Carroll. Ketel Marte needs to get back to his all-star form. I think he was dealing with injuries and stuff last year.
Yeah.
Gurriel's a 290 hitter last year. A good contact guy. It's not bad. If Jake McCarthy can keep stepping up, and you got Walker as your power guy, they're missing some power. It's not a perfect lineup or anything like that. But I don't know. I don't mind it. I guess when you really look at it.
Yeah, no, it's not bad, and they got decent rotation, so hopefully that helps.
So it starts with those two guys. Let's go to that rotation real quick. Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. Zach Gallen, if you don't know, he had a 44 and a third inning scoreless streak last year.
Yeah,
that's right. That was impressive. And Merrill Kelly, you just saw him, I think, pitch in the championship game.
And got lit.
Got lit, yeah.
Yeah.
But that just shows that, he's a good pitcher. He's sitting there in the championship game for USA. 3.37 ERA last year. I didn't know he was 34 years old already. I thought he was a younger pitcher.
No, and he hasn't played. He went through the system for a while.
Okay.
It took him a while to get here.
So what I didn't know, I would have lost $1 million if you asked me this question. Who's older, Merrill Kelly or Mad Bum? I thought Mad Bum was like 37. He's only 33.
Yeah, he's still young. He's just he's had a steep decline. That's just steep. I mean, his ERA was 4.88, which is insane. But he still has it though. You can see when he pitches, he still has it. It's just people figured him out at first. He has that funky delivery. So they didn't figure it out. That's why he's hot when he was with the Giants. But I think people just figured it out because he doesn't throw hard. I mean, his fastball's like 90. So we'll see.
He also doesn't like glove inspections or anything like that.
Yeah, he's just a head case. It's probably honestly why the Giants didn't want to keep him.
Yeah,
they're just like we don't want to deal with that. They usually don't keep head cases.
No, not at all. The rest of the rotation, Zach Davies, he's like a 4 ERA guy.
Yeah, average guy.
And I don't know much about this guy. Brandon Pfaadt, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he's supposed to be a 33rd best prospect of baseball. He's another young pitcher. Ryan Nelson, a decent young pitcher, apparently. But, it's Gallen and Merrill Kelly, and then the rest is really what it is. So if Gallen and Kelly can really keep stepping up, they need it because their bullpen's not very good. That is their weakness. Yeah. They added a couple guys, like Miguel Castro, Chafin, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Andrew Chafin from my Tigers.
Yeah, he's a good pitcher still, I think. Decent.
He's a decent lefty. Joe Mantiply is pretty solid. And they got Mark Melanson. You know, so
Ooh,
they got decent. It's a decent bullpen. I wouldn't say it's garbage, but it's not good.
yeah.
It's right. It's in the middle. It'd be middle. Wouldn't be surprised they finished in the middle of the pack.
Well, they were 25th last year in ERA, so it
Yeah,
wouldn't be.
I think it got a little better, but it's still not going to be good.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. You got a couple good pitchers, you got a decent sneaky lineup, and if their rotation or their bullpen can improve, I lean the over 75.5 win. I may have more to say about that here in a little bit
Yep.
too. But yeah, that's the D-backs. Don't count them out for the division, but they'll
Yeah,
sneak up with some teams. They'll win some series that might surprise you. So
sure.
let's go to the final team, a team that won't surprise you. The Colorado friggin' Rockies. They
Oh
suck.
boy, the
Um,
Colorado Suckies
the
got it.
suck. They're not the Nationals. They're not the Royals. They're not the A's, but they're the step up right above that. 68 wins last year, over under 64.5. They're projected to be even worse. Off season, nothing. Really
Yeah,
nothing. Except for their owner said he thinks they have a sneaky good team and they can play 500 ball. Their owner's an idiot. So
he's
there's
shooting for
that.
500. He's shooting for 500 ball, which should tell you right there where his mindset is. He
Yeah, that's pretty
doesn't
much
care.
it. Guys,
Doesn't
if
care.
everything goes right, we're gonna be 500.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not the goal.
exactly.
If that's your goal, why the hell you own a team?
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
that's exactly it. Only one Rockies regular everyday player had above league average on WRC plus. That's weighted runs created plus, by the way. And runs created it estimates a player like offensive contribution in terms of total runs. It's a weird advanced stat, but it's a stat that they use a lot. And only one, CJ Crone, was the only one to have to be above average. So this lineup's used to be in the top 5 in the National League every year because they play in Colorado. But they were 8th last year. They struggled. The bullpen, the worst ERA in baseball. The rotation isn't any better. Brad, any good news on this team at all?
I mean, their hitters are going to be pretty solid. They're in Colorado, obviously. It's a mile high, but their pitching their pitching rotation bullpen is just going to be the worst in the league, American and national.
I think so.
It's just terrible. They're not going to any help with that. They're just going to have to hope that their hitters are just putting up insane amount of runs. They're gonna have to win games by scoring 7 to 8 runs because
Oof.
that's how many their pitchers are gonna give up. It's
Yeah,
nice to see CJ Crone back in a Rockies jersey though.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Uh,
It's when you bet these games. So I was a big baseball bettor. I have been for 2 years, and I still will be. But if you ever look at Rocky games at home in Colorado, the over under total runs sometimes is like 14.5 or something. Just
yeah,
wild. Yeah, because it's just bonkers. But
yeah, and they got guys that can hit bombs. I mean, CJ Crone, obviously, Ryan McMahon, he's solid. They signed Moustakis, signed good old Moose.
he's still
They
around.
Yeah, he's still around. I mean, he's not going to hit for average, but that stadium's going to do him some favors because he
Yeah.
hits the ball hard. Randall Krichik is back. He's solid, and of course Chris Bryant. I mean,
Chris
those are
Bryant.
solid
Let's
hit.
go to him real quick, guys. He didn't play. He just didn't
Yeah,
even. He did have a higher than league average WRC plus last year, but he barely played, so he wasn't an everyday player. They need him. They got to have him. He's got to play. He's got to be at least decent. Chris Bryant. He's kind of like an Evan Longoria, where he just like this guy's a Hall of Famer. Oh wait, never mind. His career's going down quick. Um,
yeah.
if he still has it, they need him, and that could really be a big help. Brendan Rodgers is a good player for this team.
Yep.
Good average guy, but it's the rotation, guys. Their aces like Herman Marquez or Kyle Freeland. Like it's just
Yeah, it's sad. Kyle Freeland is probably their better one. Marquez was just not very good at all.
no.
5 ERA. I mean, all these guys are around 5 ERA, so it's gonna be bad. Bullpen, you got Brad Hand is probably your best bullpen guy, and he's getting up there. They got Dillison Lamet, Brett Suter, Daniel Bard. But one sneaky move though, or one sneaky guy I should say, is their top prospect. He's a switch hitting first baseman outfielder, Michael Toglia.
Yeah, I heard that name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
watch out for him.
he's an everyday starter already.
He's on the bench right now, but I mean, he's probably going to hit DH. He's a switch hitter.
Yeah, in Colorado, you never know; these guys can hit. But the Rockies were 38 and 43 in games that were started by their top 3 pitchers.
Yep.
Their top 3 aces, and they were still under 500. The top 3 guys had a 4.81 combined ERA. The top 3 pitchers for them.
Yeah.
4.40 FIP, which is fielding independent pitching, which kind of takes the fielding out of it and really kind of predicts how good a pitcher really did. So, I mean, they just weren't good. I mean, all the metrics said they weren't good. Their bullpen's not going to be much better. It's going to be bottom 5, bottom 10. And lineup could be a little sneaky, but I mean, let's face it, they're going to be terrible on the road. They had a terrible road record last year, and they were pretty good at home, actually. They can beat a lot of teams at home, but this isn't a team that's exciting to me. It's unfortunate. If they had a good lineup in that stadium, they could score, crap ton of runs. Imagine like the Padres lineup on this Rockies team in Colorado or something. That would
It'd be insane.
They'd set records. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be wild. But that's the Rockies. That's the final team for the NL West. We got some best bets to give you. In this one, I only got one best bet, though. Just one, because I couldn't think of anything else. I'm not going to force it. It's the bet that Brad loves. The Padres to win the division at plus 130. We talked about it. Big 3 in the rotation. Big 4 in the lineup. Don't be an idiot, Tatis. And it's also a combo of the Dodgers just taking a step back. The lineup is not as deep. And I just think that this is the Padres. They're hungrier. Dodgers have won it every year. They're both going to make the playoffs. There's no question about that. This is just to win the division. You can argue me, Brad. You got anything?
No, it's going to be close, but I think the Dodgers are still going to sneak it out because I just think their pitching's better. They'll just sneak it out on them, and like I said, it's only going to be by 3 to 6 games or something like that. It's not going to be like a blowout like last year, like 22 games. It'll be closer, but I think the Dodgers will still take it.
Quick question for you. Best rivalry in baseball right now. Is it Padres-Dodgers? Are we still talking Yankees-Red Sox or anything else?
I mean, right now, with the way it's going, it's Dodgers-Padres. I mean, Boston hasn't been that good in a while, so the rivalry's kind of died. I mean, they probably still care about it, but I mean, Boston hasn't been that good in a while, and they're probably still not going to be that good this year. So,
Red Sox-Yankees will live on forever rivalry. This is the best current rivalry, though.
Yeah, best current. This is where it's at.
Yep, I agree. All right, give me your 2 bets. What do you got?
So the first one is what I'm known. These are the bets I'm kind of known for, is the division standings. I have the Dodgers, of course, winning it, with the Padres going second, and my sneaker is going to be the D-backs getting third over the Giants. I know that's not favorable, and that's at plus 500. I think the D-backs are good, just a little bit better than the Giants. I think they're going to sneak out on them.
So that's an exact finish, just so you guys know. First, second, third, plus 500. He's been reeling them off. He's going to hit 1 or 2 of these, I'm sure. But yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I like it. D-backs aren't that far off from the Giants, in my opinion. So I can easily see that happening. Yep.
And my second bet is going to be the D-backs over under 75.5 games. I'm taking over the 75.5 at minus 110.
I like it. We talked about it. The D-backs are a little sneaky this year. Some young players step up, and they could be right around 500. So those are our best bets for this division. We went through it. Let's bring up those best bets now. All right, there we go. Those are our best bets for the National League West. That's all I got, guys. The one bet. Padres to win the division plus 130. If you want to throw a little bit of money on them to win the series, I wouldn't mind that either. But I got the Braves winning it. So Brad's bets: Diamondbacks over 75.5 wins, and the exact finish: Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks. Imagine if Brad hits all these exact finishes. That'd be absolutely. He is. It's a lock. Yeah, it's pretty easy. He said. So those are our best bets for the National League West. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Brad, that was fun. Thanks for joining this video. Appreciate that, man.
Definitely. Looking forward to the next one.
I love it. Stay tuned. We got videos everywhere. A lot of baseball videos coming. I have a YouTube short with 3 bold predictions for the AL. Check that out. And then check these links below right here for some other division videos. That was a ton of fun. I love talking baseball, and we are getting so close, baby. Thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.